Belief is one of the most invisible forces in human life, yet it is also the most powerful. We cannot see it, touch it, or weigh it, but belief shapes every decision we make, every risk we take, and every limitation we either break through or remain imprisoned by. In Why Belief Creates Unlimited Power, the author invites us on a journey to discover whether in ourselves, in God, in possibility, or in a vision, can awaken an extraordinary strength that transforms not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. The book begins by reminding us of a truth many of us overlook: every great achievement in history began as a belief. Long before the light bulb existed, Thomas Edison believed that he could create a way to bring light into darkness. Centuries before airplanes soared in the sky, the Wright brothers held a conviction that human beings could fly, despite ridicule and doubt from those around them. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years of imprisonment, sustained only by his unwavering belief that freedom and equality were possible for his people. Time and again, history reveals that belief is the root from which every breakthrough grows. Without it, talent remains unused, potential remains dormant, and dreams remain unfulfilled. With it, the impossible begins to bend toward possibility. But the book is not only about famous figures or distant heroes, it is about us. It challenges each of us to look inward and ask, what do I believe about myself? Because whether we realize it or not, belief is constantly shaping our identity. If you believe you are capable, you will rise to challenges. If you believe you are unworthy, you will shrink back, even when opportunities are laid before you. Belief does not simply reflect reality, it creates reality. It acts like a lens, coloring how we see the world and, more importantly, how we see ourselves within it. One of the most profound messages of the book is that belief is a choice. We often think of belief as something imposed upon us, shaped by our environment, our upbringing, or the voices around us. And while it is true that childhood experiences, cultural narratives, and societal messages deeply influence our sense of self, the author reminds us that we have the power to choose new beliefs at any moment. Just because you were told as a child that you were not good enough, does not mean that belief must define your adult life. Just because past failures whispered to you that success is out of reach does not mean you must carry that belief forever. At any moment, you can decide to believe differently, and in that decision lies the seed of transformation. The book illustrates this with a simple yet powerful story of a young man who dreamed of becoming a musician. Growing up in poverty, he was often told that pursuing music was unrealistic, that he should focus on real work. For years, he suppressed his passion and took jobs he disliked, carrying the belief that his dream was unattainable. One day, however, he decided to change his belief. Instead of seeing himself as someone who cannot make it in music, he began to believe, fully and without compromise, that he was already a musician. That shift in belief altered his actions. He practiced daily, sought mentors, played at local events, and slowly built momentum. Within a few years, he had released his first album and was living the life he once thought impossible. His circumstances did not change first, his belief did. And when his belief changed, everything else followed. Belief is also intimately connected to resilience. Life inevitably brings challenges, failures, and moments of despair. The difference between those who give up and those who rise again often comes down to belief. If you believe that setbacks are signs of final defeat, you will stop trying. But if you believe that setbacks are temporary lessons, stepping stones to growth, you will persist. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became one of the best-selling book series of all time. Her belief in the value of her story kept her moving forward, even when evidence seemed to point toward failure. The book emphasizes that belief is the engine that keeps hope alive when the road is long and difficult. There is also a spiritual dimension to belief that the book beautifully explores. Beyond mere confidence in ourselves, belief can serve as a bridge to something greater. Faith, whether in God, in the universe, or in a higher purpose, provides a source of power beyond what human strength alone can carry. When we believe that we are supported by a force larger than ourselves, courage rises naturally. Fear diminishes, because we know we are not walking alone. The author illustrates this with stories of individuals who faced overwhelming odds, illness, loss, or injustice, but whose faith carried them through with strength that seemed superhuman. The message is clear: belief not only awakens our human potential, it also opens us to divine support. Yet the book does not present belief as naive optimism or blind positivity. True belief is not about ignoring reality, but about facing reality with a deeper conviction. It is not pretending that obstacles don't exist, it is choosing to believe that obstacles can be overcome. It is not denying pain or difficulty, it is holding on to the truth that healing and growth are still possible. Real belief is tested not when life is easy, but when life is hard. And it is in those moments of testing that belief reveals its greatest power. One of the most practical insights from the book is how belief shapes our habits. What we believe about ourselves determines the standards we hold, the goals we set, and the effort we give. If you believe you are destined for mediocrity, you will unconsciously settle for less. If you believe you are capable of excellence, you will demand more of yourself, and you will persist until excellence becomes your reality. For example, an athlete who believes she can achieve greatness will train harder, recover from setbacks faster, and push through pain with determination. Her belief drives her discipline. The same is true for an entrepreneur, a student, or a parent. Belief creates behavior, and behavior creates results. The book also addresses one of the greatest barriers to belief: fear. Fear whispers that we are not ready, not talented enough, not worthy of success. Fear thrives on doubt, and yet, as the author reminds us, fear and belief cannot occupy the same space. When you choose belief, fear loses its power. This does not mean fear disappears, it often lingers at the edges, but belief becomes stronger than fear. The way to silence fear is not to wait until it vanishes, but to act in belief despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in the presence of it. Another valuable lesson from the book is that belief is contagious. Our beliefs affect not only ourselves but also those around us. A leader who believes in her team inspires confidence and unlocks potential in others. A teacher who believes in his students sees them rise beyond their own expectations. A parent who believes in a child plants seeds of courage that last a lifetime. Conversely, disbelief is also contagious. When others project doubt, fear, or negativity, it can infect us if we are not careful. This is why the author emphasizes the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who nurture belief, who lift us up rather than tear us down. In one poignant chapter, the book describes a group of children in an underfunded school, many of whom were told by society that they would never succeed. But one teacher chose to believe in them. She treated them not as at-risk children, but as future leaders, scientists, artists, and entrepreneurs. Her belief changed the way she taught, and more importantly, it changed the way her students saw themselves. Years later, many of them achieved far more than anyone expected, all because one person's belief became a mirror in which they could see their true potential. This story illustrates a profound truth: belief is not just personal, it is relational. When we believe in others, we empower them to believe in themselves. The book ends by turning the question back to us: what beliefs will we choose to carry forward? Will we continue to hold on to beliefs that limit us, beliefs rooted in fear or past wounds? Or will we embrace beliefs that set us free, that awaken our deepest potential, that align us with purpose and faith? The power of belief is not something reserved for the extraordinary few. It is available to each of us, in every moment, with every choice we make. Belief is the soil in which our future grows. If we plant seeds of doubt, we harvest regret. If we plant seeds of faith, we harvest possibility. The message of why belief creates unlimited power is both simple and profound: believe, and doors will open. Believe, and strength will rise. Believe, and life will expand in ways you cannot yet imagine. The book is not just an argument, it is an invitation. It calls us to stop living small lives dictated by fear and doubt, and instead to step boldly into the unlimited power that belief offers. For when we dare to believe, truly believe, the impossible begins to look inevitable.